Archangel Michael says, only 45 minutes remain. God has tried reaching you again and again, but you keep ignoring him. Tonight, a sudden revelation will shake your life. People of Earth, hear me now. I am Michael, a guardian placed at the threshold of light. I come to you not to frighten, but to awaken. Not to punish, but to reorient the compass of your heart. There is a clock in the quiet center of your life, a sacred metronome that measures moments of mercy and memory. For many of you, that clock has been ticking, unnoticed, drowned beneath busyness, buried under shame, excused away by tomorrow. Listen, there are times when the heavens lean in and speak more plainly. Tonight is such a time. 45 minutes sounds small. It is a sliver of your day. Yet in these slivers, God has birthed turning points that changed destinies. A single breath of courage in a small room, a single honest word to a loved one, a single prayer offered without adornment. These have toppled prisons, healed ancient wounds, and set entire houses of being back on their feet. The countdown I bring is not a threat. It is a sacred summons. It is the universe knocking, softly, urgently, to be let in. You have been reached before. Do not mistake that for failure. That reaching is itself proof of love. Love does not quit. Love keeps stretching its hand. It writes in the margins of your life, whispers in the corridors of your mind, places memories that refuse to leave you behind. You have ignored it at times because of fear, because of busyness, because the hurt felt safer than the uncertain mercy on the other side of a surrendered moment. Yet in every refusal, there remains possibility. The heart that turns at the last minute is as beloved as the one that always turned. Tonight a revelation will come. Revelations arrive in many garments, a sudden insight that cuts through a lifetime of confusion, a dream that returns with a message you can no longer dismiss, a stranger's kindness that reflects a truth you have been avoiding, a flash of memory that reveals what must be healed, or the quiet, undeniable presence of peace that settles where turmoil lived. This revelation will shake you because it will unmask the false gods you have been serving, not with malice, but with benevolent force. It will show what is true and what is illusion. The shock is the heart's way of waking up. If you are afraid of change, know this: true change is not the enemy. It is the midwife of integrity. The shaking strips away what is brittle and lifeless so that what is alive may find room. When a tree is pruned, it trembles. From that trembling, new sap begins. When your structures fall away, be they relationships built on fear, roles kept to please others, a life arranged to avoid truth, you may feel unmoored. This unmooring is not defeat. It is preparation before the revelation comes, prepare. The next 45 minutes are not to panic in, but to ready yourself to receive with clarity. I will give you directions, like a lamp placed on a dark path. Follow them gently and deliberately. Stop and breathe. Sit or stand. Close your eyes if you can. For 3 full minutes, count slowly with your breath. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Allow the breath to be the bridge between the world you inhabit and the presence that will visit. Do not rush this. Let the nervous system know it is safe. Breath is the first sacrament. Every breath is an offering and a receiving. Turn your attention inward. Ask yourself, without judgment, what have I been avoiding? Name it plainly, even if only in a whisper. Do not invent reasons for why you cannot name it. Say its shape, loneliness, guilt, a relationship, a dream deferred, a small death of hope. Naming releases the hold it has on you. Confess to God what you have not confessed to yourself. Confession, in this sense, is a gentle revelation to the divine of what you carry. It is not a public airing or a litany of shame. It is an honest hand raised in the presence of love. I have been afraid. I have turned away. I have chosen convenience over truth. Say it as simply as that. The divine hears more than your words. God hears what your heart cannot yet say and responds with mercy. Ask for the revelation. Pray, not with the sound of demand, but with the openness of one who has learned to be surprised by grace. Show me, you can say. Make me ready. This prayer is short and direct. It signals readiness. It does not coerce. It invites. The cosmos responds to that invitation. Make a small, tangible shift. Don't wait for the revelation to force movement. Move now in a simple, measurable way that aligns with what you most desire. Send a message that must be sent. Forgive a small thing that has blocked the larger work of mercy. Leave a corner of your room uncluttered. Stand up and step outside into the night for a moment. Motion prepares you to act. Action prepares you to receive. Listen for the posture of peace. Revelation often arrives first as a subtle settling, a pressure lifting behind the sternum, a warmth in the chest, an inner voice that says a single, clear sentence. If you feel agitation or fear, do not panic. Learn to distinguish between anxiety, old patterns surfacing, and the energy of transformation, the courage to step forward. Anchor yourself in the breath and return to prayer. Know this: God uses your life as a Kothor uses a pen. The divine often waits to see if you will pick up ink and write truth. That waiting is not absence. It is patient love. Many of you have prayed for change and then refused the necessary inconvenience that change required. You wanted freedom, but not the uncomfortableness that unhooking from old habits brings. Tonight's revelation may expose the parts of your life that must be inconveniently real. Be willing. Let me be explicit about what the revelation might ask of you. It will never ask you to betray your deepest moral center. It will never demand harm to yourself or others. Revelation asks for courage, not recklessness. Surrender, not self-destruction. Here are common movements the revelation often requests. Turn toward the truth of relationships. You may be living around a relationship, telling yourself a story that makes staying easier than leaving, or leaving easier than staying. The revelation will show you the ledger where love truly lived and where obligation, fear, or need masqueraded as love. Respond with honesty. If reconciliation is possible and healthy, open the door. If release is necessary for dignity and safety, step toward it with the support you need. Own your vocation. Many hearts carry a muted call, a dream that looks like risk and that you have buried because it seemed impractical. The revelation will flare that call again. You will not be asked to leap blindly, but to take one real step, to research, to speak the truth about it to one trusted person, to sketch a plan. Small beginnings are holy. Face unresolved grief and forgive. Grief, unprocessed, becomes a lodestone for bitterness. The revelation will bring forward a memory or a face. It will ask you to name the sorrow and to offer it to God. Forgiveness is not erasing what happened, but choosing not to be imprisoned by it. Lift the offering, release what belongs to the past. If forgiveness is too early, begin with the prayer, Lord, help me get there. The divine meets you there. Simplify. Many are drowning in noise. The revelation may be an invitation to subtract. Say no to a thing that steals your rest. Put boundaries around availability. Make space for silence. Productivity is not holiness. A crowded life can be the enemy of an intentional soul. Claim your worth. If you have been living believing you are unworthy of love, the revelation will call that lie into light. You are not the sum of your failures. You are the beloved. Begin to practice small acts of care that declare this truth. Sleep earlier. More kindly. Say generous things about yourself in the mirror. These may sound small, but they rewire a life. Do not mistake theatrical language for lightness. When I say God has tried to reach you again, it is not a hyperbole. Consider the many forms of reaching. A book that crossed your path and opened a question. A conversation that lodged a new thought. An image that haunted you. A misfortune that whispered an opportunity to turn. Each is a hand extended. Divine outreach is patient creative, and persistent. If you feel shame for having ignored God's reaching, release it now. Shame is a fog the enemy uses to keep you small. Confession is the antidote. Name it, and let the mercy of God take it. He does not record your avoidance as an excuse to withhold love. Rather, He holds it as an invitation to deeper work. You are never too late. This is the mercy that confounds human bureaucracy. Now, I will speak plainly about fear. Fear is not a sin. It is a signal. When revelation approaches, fear may surge because you are on the border of something sacred. Fear asks, will you lose your identity? Will you be alone? Will you fail? Jesus walked with fear. So do the bravest hearts. The remedy for fear is companioning truth. Truth about who you are. Truth about what God holds for you. Truth about the fidelity of the divine to those who turn. When fear speaks loud, speak louder with faith. Faith is not a loud trumpet. Often it is a small, persistent choice to trust in the next step. To those of you who have been praying and still feel unheard, know that God often waits for a human yes to match the divine yes. The waiting is not absence. If you have been saying the same prayer and the same inaction follows, the language of your life is not aligning with your petition. Prayer moves the heart. Action aligns the world. Do two small things tonight that make your prayer credible. Something practical that echoes the prayer's content. If you are praying for reconciliation, send the first text that says, "Can we talk?" If you are praying for vocation, make a list of next steps. The revelation will honor even humble feet to those who are righteous in tone but brittle in heart, those who have moral certainty but lack compassion. I say this, revelation often humbles. If you stand judging others as a means to feel safe, the revelation will tenderly dismantle that fortress. Holiness without humility becomes a spear. If you can, receive the softening. Let mercy be your first posture. It does not mean tolerating evil. It means bearing truth with love. There will be souls who fear the term revelation because of associations with prophecy, fanaticism, or manipulation. Know this, true revelation always leads to freedom, clarity, and love. If any revelation you receive leads to bondage, secrecy, scandal, or harm that is not from the light, the holy will not require you to harm yourself or others. Discernment matters. Bring what comes to a trustworthy community, a wise friend, or a spiritual guide who has steadiness. Tonight also know that revelation can be tender as a newborn's yawn. You may not feel fireworks. It may be a small rearrangement of attention that makes a lifetime of difference. An image you take seriously, a memory you honor, a call you answer. These are all revelations in action. I will now offer a guided moment you can use immediately. If you choose, speak these words aloud or in the quiet of your spirit. Michael, guardian and messenger, stand with me now. Open the channels of my heart. Remove what blinds me. Give me courage to receive what I must see. Prepare me for what God would do through my life. I am willing to be changed. I am willing to be used for good. Let your will be made clearer to me. Amen. After this, sit in silence for a few minutes. If a memory, a name, an image, or a sentence comes, do not dismiss it. Write it down. Even a single phrase can be a key. Do not be surprised if the revelation unfolds in the hours that follow. The first spark may need time to kindle into clarity. Let us speak about community. You were not made to carry everything alone. If the revelation asks you to do hard inner work, invite one companion to be a witness, someone who will pray, who will hold you accountable, who will speak truth wrapped in love. Community is not a cure for every wound, but it is the scaffolding that helps repair what is broken. Choose those who have walked through darkness and retained gentleness. If tonight's revelation propels you into action that affects others, move with transparent heart and humility. Offer apologies where necessary and ask for consent when change impacts another's life. Transformation that disregards others sows new harm. Let your steps be slow and clear, not rash and loud. I must also speak plainly about endings. The revelation may end things, relationships, habits, roles, identities. Endings are not always failures. They are sometimes the pruning required for new growth. People grieve endings as if they were always wrong. Let sorrow have its due, but do not let sorrow imprison your future. There is a healthy mourning that clears the way for resurrection and miracles. Yes, some of you fear being disappointed because you expected dramatic miracles before. Miracles were many faces, a sudden forgiveness, a restored friendship, a healed body, a job that appears, insight that changes a life. Some miracles are quiet and patient. Do not judge the sacred by the size of the spectacle. If tonight's revelation is the wrench that breaks open a long-hidden wound, do not be ashamed to seek professional help. Spiritual transformation and psychological healing often travel together. A trusted counselor, therapist, or healer can be a necessary ally. Seeking help is not abandoning faith. It is stewarding the temple of your being well. For those who are caregivers and feel too weary even to prepare, hear this: you are seen. Your fatigue is not invisible to the heavens. Small mercy waits for small hands. A brisk 5 minutes of intentional breathing. A single honest word to a loved one. A short prayer before sleep. These are acts of faith that gather strength. You are part of a greater net of care, practical steps after the revelation. Record the insight. Keep a small notebook near your bed or phone. Revelation fades if not tended. Capture the sentence, the image, the list. Choose one concrete next step. Keep it doable. Overcommitting kills follow-through. If the revelation is broad, pick the smallest first action. Tell one trusted soul. Saying it aloud makes it real and opens the possibility of support. Set a time for reflection. Within 24 to 48 hours, revisit what came and the steps you took. Adjust if needed. Give thanks. Gratitude aligns the heart to abundance and helps sustain change. Now, an encouragement. For those whose hearts are hardened by betrayal or scandal, you have been hurt. That wound is justified, but do not let the injury become your final identity. The revelation will not erase pain. It will show you how to move with it without becoming imprisoned by it. Justice and mercy are both needed. Seek both. If you are skeptical, that is good. Skepticism is a wise guard against deceit. Let your skepticism be honest, and let the revelation be tested by truth. The divine often offers evidence in the form of fruit, peace, clarity, improved relationships, integrity, and long-term joy. Measure by those things to the young among you who feel the urgency like a drumbeat in your chest. Your life has room to pivot more quickly than you imagine. Use tenderness with yourself. Youth is a time of experiments. Let integrity be your compass, not exhilaration alone. To the elders, your wisdom is a lantern. Often, revelation will ask you to pass on truth. Do not hide what you have learned. The next generation needs your voice, not your judgment. Speak with empathy and listen with curiosity. Your presence in another's life can be revelation enough. A final, deeper truth. God's reaching is not only about correction. It is also about invitation into intimacy. The one who reaches is longing for relationship, uncomplicated by performance. If you imagine the divine as distant and punitive, tonight may dismantle that myth. The lover of your soul does not arrive with ledger in hand, but with arms ready. Receive that. If you are worried about time, if 45 minutes feels too short and you fear you will fail again, remember that grace does not measure you by the size of your attempt, but by the orientation of your heart. A tiny, honest turning can suffice. Do not let perfectionism keep you from taking imperfect steps. I will conclude with a benediction you may carry into the night. Speak it or hold it in the quiet. May the light that never fails illuminate the oldest corners of my heart. May courage come to me like a steady flame. May what is false be unmasked with gentleness, and may what is true be welcomed with joy. May I have the humility to receive and the boldness to act. May mercy cradle me, and may peace me my portion. Amen. People of earth, I stand beside the threshold of your life as both messenger and friend. The revelation that comes tonight will not do your work for you. It will hand you a pure, often uncomfortable, and always necessary mirror. Will you look? Will you let the shaking settle into a new foundation? If you do, if you say yes, the 45 minutes will have been the hinge on which an entire life turned go. Now, breathe, name, pray, make. That small movement that signals you are ready. The light waits not to judge, but to heal, to call, to resurrect withheld parts of your story. I go with you in that first step as protector and witness. Fear not, be brave, be tender, be real. I am Michael. I stand with you in the steadying of your life. The bell is tolling in the best sense, not an alarm of doom, but an invitation to rise. Answer and be changed. Asterisk, you are still listening, and because you are listening, I am still speaking. Do not think that the revelation I promised has already passed you by. Rather, it is unfolding like a dawn that first touches the edges of the horizon before the full sun breaks forth. The clock is still moving, but each second now holds more weight, more meaning, because your awareness has shifted. You no longer sit entirely in slumber. You are leaning toward the call. That lean, that willingness is everything. I tell you again, the shaking that is coming is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to free you from what has already been destroying you in silence, the prison of habit, the chains of false security, the heavy robes of shame that you have worn for so long they cannot walk with you into the future God has prepared. The revelation will strip them from you, and though you may tremble in the nakedness of that moment, I assure you that you will find yourself clothed in something stronger: dignity, clarity, peace. Asterisk, do not ask, why now? Why tonight? The heavens choose their times with precision. You have been called before. You have been nudged, whispered to, and even shaken lightly. Yet you pressed the invitation aside. But God does not grow weary as men do. He does not discard his children when they delay. He comes again and again and again until the soul can no longer deny the hand that reaches for it. Tonight is one of those moments when mercy refuses to leave you behind. You may fear what the revelation will demand. Perhaps it will call you to end a tie that has drained your spirit, or to forgive one you vowed you never could, or to step into a path you have long avoided because it looked too vast for your smallness. Whatever it reveals, it will not be to harm you. The truth may sting when first seen, like the sun after darkness, but it will not blind you, will guide you. You will not be asked to betray yourself, only to return to your truest self, the one God dreamed when He first breathed you into being. If you tremble, let yourself tremble. Fear is not failure, is simply the body realizing that the ground beneath is shifting. Do not let the tremor convince you to run backward. Instead, let it remind you that something is indeed happening, that this is not another empty hour sliding by unnoticed. This is holy ground. Stand upon it with the reverence of one who knows that angels are near, and listen carefully. Revelation is not always thunder. Sometimes it comes like a whisper, a sudden thought that pierces deeper than any lecture, a memory that rises and will not let go, a peace that suddenly rests upon you where chaos reigned before. Do not dismiss it because it feels too small. God often hides eternity inside a seed. If you welcome the seed, it will split open in due time and reveal a tree vast enough to shelter generations. Beloved, you have wondered if you are too late. You are not too late. You have wondered if you are too broken. You are not too broken. You have wondered if your failures have disqualified you from the mercy that others speak of. Hear me. Nothing you have done, nothing you have delayed, nothing you have feared can cancel the relentless love of the one who made you. Tonight's revelation is proof of that love. It comes not as condemnation, but as invitation. The hour grows shorter, but I tell you, even if a soul turns in the last breath of its journey, heaven rejoices as loudly as if it had walked faithfully for decades. It is not the length of your perfection that God seeks, but the authenticity of your surrender. Give Him this hour. Give Him this heart, even if it trembles, even if it doubts, even if it has run away 1,000 times. Offer it still. That offering will open the floodgates of grace. I walk with you in this. You are not alone in the chamber of decision. You are surrounded, though unseen, by light, by presence, by love that wills your freedom. If you falter, lean upon us. If you weep, let your tears be a prayer. If you cannot find words, let your silence speak. Heaven hears even the unspoken groan of your heart. The revelation will come, and when it comes, let it shake you. Let it undo what must be undone. Let it birth what has been waiting. You will not be the same, and that is the point. You will walk forward with a different gaze, a steadier step, a freer breath. And in that freedom, you will discover what it means to be truly alive. So do not delay, beloved. The moments are precious. Turn inward. Open wide. Say yes, even if your yes is small. Heaven will take that small yes and build from it a doorway into life. I am with you as guardian, as witness, as brother, in the light. Fear not. The revelation is mercy disguised as fire, and fire refines. But it does not consume the soul that is willing. Now, lift your face to the one who calls you. Tonight is holy. Tonight is yours. Tonight, God writes again upon the pages of your life. Answer him and live. Asterisk, do you feel it now? The air is heavier with meaning than before. Each second turns like a wheel grinding against stone, creating sparks. These sparks are not meant to frighten you, but to ignite the flame that has long waited within. The revelation does not come from outside to crush you. It rises within to awaken you. The hand of God presses gently against your heart, not to wound, but to remind you that it still beats for a reason higher than survival, higher than fear, higher than delay. How many times have you heard the knocking and turned away? How many dreams have you buried, telling yourself they were impossible? How many times have you numbed the whisper by filling your ears with noise, your days with tasks, your nights with distractions? Yet still, here you are, still listening, still drawn, still unable to ignore the call. This is the mercy of God, no matter how far you drift. The current of His love pulls you back again and again, until you are ready to remember who you truly are. Tonight's revelation will not always arrive like lightning from heaven. Some will experience a sudden breaking, a moment where everything falls, collapses, and truth stands bare. Others will experience something subtler, like a small candle being lit in the endless dark. One that grows brighter as you give it space. Do not compare your awakening to another's. The form does not matter. What matters is that the light has come and you recognize it. And you refuse to snuff it out this time. I tell you plainly, the world you have built on fear will not survive this revelation. The roles you have clung to, the masks you have worn, the compromises you have made, they will tremble and fall away. You may feel as if the ground has been stolen from beneath you, but look again. It is not destruction, it is deliverance. The false floor collapses so that you may stand upon the rock that cannot be shaken. Do not despise the trembling. Even the strongest oak quivers in the storm, yet it does not fall because its roots are deep. You too have roots, the roots of divine love planted within you, since before you were born. Let the storm do its work. Let it shake away what is shallow, so that your root can drink from the living water that waits beneath the surface of your life. Some of you hear this and feel shame rising. Shame for having ignored God's call before. Shame for the choices you made. Shame for the times you promised to change and then returned to the old ways. But hear me, shame is not the voice of heaven. Shame is the voice of the accuser who wishes to chain you in regret. Heaven speaks differently. Heaven says, yes, you have delayed. Yes, you have stumbled. But still, you are loved. Still you are called. Still you are capable of turning now. Do not confuse the conviction that leads to life with the condemnation that leads to despair. One is a door opening, the other is a door slamming shut. Only one comes from God. If the revelation tonight shows you the cost of truth, do not run from it. Yes, truth is costly. It will demand that you face what you have long avoided. It may strip away relationships that were built on falsehood. It may expose the fragile scaffolding you leaned on instead of the eternal foundation. But truth, even when it costs, always repays. It repays in freedom. It repays in peace. It repays in joy that no counterfeit life can ever give. You may be tempted to think, I am not ready, but readiness is not perfection. Readiness is simply the willingness to say yes, even with trembling hands. Say yes, and heaven will supply the rest. Say yes, and strength will come as you walk. Say yes, and you will discover that the path is not as lonely as you feared. For every step you take toward light, angels walk beside you, unseen yet steady, whispering courage into your soul. I tell you this with all the authority given to me. You are not abandoned. Even in the hour when you feel most exposed, most undone, most uncertain, you are surrounded by a love that will not fail. The revelation is not proof of God's anger. It is proof of His relentless pursuit. He shakes you because He refuses to let you sleep in chains. He awakens you because He knows the greatness that still lies hidden beneath your wounds. He calls you because the story of your life is not finished, no matter how late the hour feels. Beloved one, let the fire come. Let it burn what is false. Let it purify what is true. Do not fight the flame. Stand in it, and you will see that it does not consume, but refines. Out of this fire you will rise stronger, clearer, freer than you have ever known. You will look back and realize that what you thought was the end was in fact the beginning. Lift your eyes now. Feel the weight of this holy moment. Heaven bends close to earth. The eternal leans into the temporary. And you, fragile, imperfect, yet chosen, are being written into a story that stretches far beyond these fleeting minutes. Tonight, the revelation does not merely visit, it settles. It plants itself in your life, waiting for you to act. Do not ignore it. Do not silence it. Do not let it slip away like all the other times. Receive it. Honor it. Live it. Asterisk. And as you do, know that I, Michael, stand guard over you. Not as a distant figure of myth, but as a real presence of strength, defending your path, shielding your steps, warring against the shadows that seek to pull you back. You are not alone in this turning. Heaven is with you. Heaven is in you. Heaven waits to be revealed through you. The clock still moves, but fear not. What matters is not how much time remains, but what you choose with the time you have. Choose now. Choose light. Choose life. Choose God, and watch as the revelation that begins tonight becomes the transformation that carries you into eternity.